We don't always get what we want. And this is one of those times where just call it a day. Sufari, it's over, bro. It's over. Um, let's do some reading, shall we? Ansu Fati back as part of Barca's squad for today's game against Rayo Vallecano. Hansi Flick decided to include Ansu in the squad. Here's the thing here. Now, I don't know what Flick is thinking, so I'm Flick. I'm here to advise you. Call me Harvard advisor. Call me Harvard advisor. I'm here to advise Hansi Flick here. This will never happen. This is not going to work. And Ansu Fati made a mistake not picking a team and permanently leaving. You see, things would have been different. Let's play a different scenario. Flick comes in. You know, the squad isn't ideal. Team is not ideal. They struggle. They're not that great. Too much is being put onto Yamal, who's already played a Euros, and he's a young guy who is still developing. And Barca are just struggling in the league. Then it would be a case of like, remember what Fati used to be? Remember what he was? And for many Barca fans, if Barcelona were in a tougher situation where Flick wasn't cooking, then people would have that hope that we know what Flick was. Let's keep holding on to that hope that he can rediscover that amazing form that he once had when Messi gave him that number 10 jersey and he was seen as the future of Barcelona. So you could rest on that hope because it's like, hey, look, we need him. And if he just comes alive, he can come alive for us. But that's not the scenario that Barcelona are in right now. Barcelona, when on form, are the best team in the world. They're the best in the world when they're on form. And they have shown when they're at their best, they can pretty much destroy any team. Not beat any team, they can dismember, dislodge, and lubricate any team in the world when they're at their best. So the scenario, the reality is Barcelona don't need Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati is surplus to requirements. He simply is. He is simply surplus to requirements. They simply don't need him anymore. And I think that this idea of like he's in the squad, he's not in the squad, he's in the squad, he's not in the squad. And I think this comes down to Fati. Because look, you can't force him to leave. You know, you can't do a look at Donch where you can just trade him and then without him not knowing. He's here now. So yes, use him. Part of the squad. But I think Fati needs to realize, or the Barcelona needs to make Fati realize that you are not part of the future for Barcelona. As in, you have a Casado, you have a Pedri, you have, I even forgot the DM who got injured earlier on in the season. There are so many other options. I mean, looking at what Rafinha is doing right now for the team, there's so many other options that there is no place for Barcelona in this squad. Forget team, in this squad. Because even when you look at the guys on the bench and the guys who are maybe coming back from injury, oh, I forgot even Gavi as well, there is no place for you here. And I think for Fati, the key thing was Brighton. That move needed to work out. He needed to go to Brighton and say what's up. Because if he had gone to Brighton and said what's up, then said, oh, bro, no, let's use him. Let's use him. There's something there. But ever since his multiple injuries, which I think has messed up with him psychologically, because see, recurring injuries are a two-flex. It hits you physically and it hits you mentally. It hits you physically, obviously, because, you know, it messes up with your bones, but it hits you mentally because you lose your confidence. Are you really going to go in for that 50-50? And there is that subconscious thing within you that, am I going to get injured again? You cannot play with a handbrake in football. you cannot play you cannot play 99% in football. You have to be 100%. So you can't be half in. You have to be fully in physically and mentally. And I think that mentally, Ansu Fati does have doubts because every time you get another injury, specifically the same injury, it destroys your confidence. And it's very hard to have that confidence that, oh, I'll be injury free because you're like, okay, I'm doomed. I'm doomed. I think that's what happened to Adriano. That's what I think happened to Pato. And for several players, they got screwed by just having those recurring injuries. Santi Cazorla. That's what happened to him. Like, did you see what happened? Like, Santi Cazorla, like, bro, that guy was supposed to be the African dude. So many recurring injuries, and I think we never saw the true best of a really rare two-footed talent. But the key thing is this. Like, Father, there's a new kid in town. Once Yamal is what Fati was supposed to be, that's what he was supposed to be. Like, he was supposed to be this star. That's why he was given that number 10 jersey. And I believe they've already announced that the number 10 jersey is going to go to Yamal next season. Now, I'll be real with you. They should have given him the number 10 jersey after the Euros. After what he did at those, when he scored that goal against Mike Maignan and he made Mama's boy do the Macarena at 16 years of age, at that moment, he should be given the number 10 jersey for Barcelona. Because that was, how Mbappe announced himself against Argentina and that 2018 World Cup? It's similar to how Yamal announced himself to the world with that goal against France in the Euros semis. So, and my thing though is people say, oh gosh, the number 10 jersey, it's going to mess up Yamal. It's going to. When you're that dude, nothing can shake you. Like, there are those players and then there are those players. See, there are those dudes and then there's that dude. Yeah, there are those dudes. But then there's that dude. Yamal is that dude. And because he's that dude and because he is a chosen one, you give him the number 10 jersey, it's not going to affect him because this is a special talent. This isn't just like a really good talent, it's a special talent. And anybody who understands football knows that this is a special talent. This is not a generational talent. This is an all-time talent. Now, whether he fully fulfills it, we don't know. Give you an example. Robinho was an all-time talent that did not fulfill his potential. Neymar is an all-time talent that did not fulfill his potential. Rivaldo is a generational talent. Like Musiala is a generational talent. Jude Bellingham is a generational talent. Yamal is an all-time talent. So those are very rare. Of course, Messi, your Maradona, those are your all-time talents. Beckenbauer. So this is your number 10. This is your superstar. This is your dude. And even when Fati was balling at his best, he wasn't a Yamal. You see, Fati was a generational talent. That's what he was. Like, if he had fulfilled his potential, he would have fulfilled his potential as a generational talent, not an all-time talent. Yamal is an all-time talent. Fati is a generational talent. But, and I hate this saying, I really hate this saying, but this saying is true. As much as I hate this saying it is true. The best ability is availability. I hate that saying. I really hate that saying, but it is true. I mean, no. Actually, no. I hate that saying. No. The best ability is can you dribble and can you do like a step over? But I understand the saying. You can have all the talent in the world. If you're not available and you can't play, oh, but you're so talented. Okay, yes, yeah, cool. If you're not available and you can't play, what's the point of your talent? So the issue for Fati is there is a generational talent there, but I believe that it has been eroded away by injuries. His confidence has fallen. And so what I say to you, football, what's it? So I'll say 30% physical, 70% mental. A lot about football is your state of mind. Do you believe you can do those things? Is your mind in that headspace where you're just flowing and things are coming to you instinctually. Like everything is through instinct. But see, a lot about football is instinct. And for instincts to work, your brain has to be operating on a wavelength where you are making those right decisions on a football pitch via instinct. Fati's his instinct has now gone. So I just think that if I was advising Fati, you have to find a new team. This team, this is Yamal. This team is Pedri and Yamal's team. These are the guys to lead Barcelona into the future. This is how the team is going to be built around, and they're going to now build on top of that. There is no future for Ansu Fati at Barcelona. There is none. And Ansu Fati will go down the same road as a Pato and Adriano as to what could have been. But the thing though is, even when you look at Pato and Adriano, they still at least did something. Fati was just hinting at stuff he was doing, but he never really said anything really. They were just hints. At least before Pato and Adriano got cooked, at least they did something. I mean, at least they did something. So, like, I already know what the story is. What could have been of Ansu Fati? What could have been? But Fati's ceiling ain't Yamal's ceiling. Fati's ceiling, I don't think is Pedri's ceiling. So when you just look at those guys like Pedri and Yamal and what their ceiling is, I don't think a Fati at his best would have reached the ceiling of those two players who I just think are true, genuine talents. So for Barcelona, based on how things have turned out, they didn't really miss out on anything. So I just think, look, it's unfortunate, it's sad. You don't want to see this happen to any player, but the reality is the reality. Think about becoming a Football Hut member. If you're a desktop merchant, just click on the join button below, over here. Or if you're a mobile phone merchant, just click on the join button below the video over here and join the true elite content crack addicts. Peace.